talk about how to evangelize without being weird. How to evangelize without being weird. How to evangelize without being weird.
Come on.
It's a good question. I think oftentimes evangelism falls into one or two categories. You kind of got to have like a script. And I'm not mad at people who have a script. Like I think Ray Comfort got a script.
Yep.
I'm actually trying to sit down with the folks over there. Great guys. Love them. There's a script to it.
Sweet guy.
And you can learn the script and you can incorporate the script. I'm not mad at it. Then there's people that are just socially awkward. Like they just can't read the room. Sometimes they got a script, sometimes they don't got a script. And those are the folks that kind of do a disservice to anyone trying to do evangelism because they're just kind of, just kind of weird.
Yep. Yeah, totally.
And I think the way to do evangelism without being weird, this is going to be a hot take. It's going to be a hot take. I think the best approach to evangelism is not to have a script. I'm not mad at it. Definitely don't be weird. Read the room. Don't freaking try to discuss Calvinism at Thanksgiving dinner. Right?
Yep.
I actually believe it's in the relational consistency of being in someone's life. I think relational evangelism in today's context, I'm not mad at open air preaching. I'm not mad at somebody having a script. I'm not mad at any of that. But I feel like there's often people that we need to evangelize within our own families, within our own current friend circles, and we feel so uncomfortable doing that.
So what does it look like? How do you not make that weird?
You don't make that weird by being interested in the things that they're interested in. And so I understand that most Christians are weird. I get it. I'm not talking about like weird as in peculiar and different. I'm talking weird like socially awkward, like weird like you're not reading the cues. Weird like, you know what I mean?
Can't get a clean dap.
Can't give a clean dap. That's
not required. Not required.
No. So I'll give you guys a personal example. I was talking to a family member who I love dearly, doesn't go to church. I don't know where they fall on like their personal devotion to Jesus.
Yeah.
But I was talking to this family member, and we were talking about some things that they would like to see improve with a different family member. I'm trying to keep it as vague as possible. And I was like, well, a lot of what you're dealing with is the person you're kind of frustrated with has no sense of purpose or direction in their life because purpose is top down. And so they've tried to have an in and out purpose or outside in purpose. They have no purpose and they're struggling. So this is like really where God comes in and church comes in.
Yeah.
So then they were like, okay, yeah, no, I could see that. And they were like, well, I don't know. I basically, I don't know where to start. And I was like, well, tomorrow is Easter. Like you could start by going to church.
No better day than...
Right, no better day. And they were like, oh, like we have our like Easter tradition and we have a whole thing we do. And so they start telling me their tradition, right? And then they're like, and so we see these little eggs, these hard-boiled eggs. And they're like, we take these eggs and we like crack them together. And they're describing a tradition to me that I'm like, now I'm no scholar, but it sounds like you're practicing a Christian tradition without even quite understanding the source of the tradition.
Wow, what is it?
So I literally just looked up, like I didn't know it, but I knew it like intrinsically. Yeah. So on Easter Sunday, this is what they do. In Russian Orthodox, they egg cracking on Easter is a symbolic game called, I forgot how to say it, but clinking together. Participants hold red dyed hard-boiled eggs and gently tap the ends together with the goal of cracking the opponent's egg while keeping their own intact. The red color of the egg symbolizes the blood of Christ, and the cracking of the eggs symbolizes the resurrection.
Wow.
So here I am interacting with someone.
I'm busy doing a Christ resurrection metaphor tomorrow. Can't make it to church.
Right?
Hey, that's fine. We'll work with that. That's amazing.
And I am willing to engage in the thing they care about and then actually point them to the source of the thing they care about. And I think what most people are after and what most people are looking for and what most people are desiring for is already indirectly connected to the desires they have to know God, be known by God, to know others, to share God with others. I actually think that's on a very intrinsic level. That's what many of us have. And I think we often gloss over that. We often look past the people that we're trying to evangelize to and go for a script. We go for a FAQ I'm going to take you down Romans Road. And I'm not mad at any of that. I think all that stuff is necessary. But we ignored the humanity of the person who is trying to source through their own inadequacies and things they're struggling with and things they have concern about.
Yeah.
And so it's like, instead of trying to come at them with a script and hit them with a framework, perhaps be interested in the thing that they're talking to you about. Be interested in them.
Yeah.
And grab the thing that they're talking to and sharing with and pull them in instead of push. Right? So if you're trying to share and evangelize, I think a pull method is better than a push method. A lot of the open air preaching, all this sort of stuff, a lot of it, again, I think there's a time and a place to be pushy, but a lot of it is push, 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 push. It's as if and this is last time I said this, someone came up to me and was like, I'm one of those. It's as if you're a used car salesman trying to close somebody in the moment. And then like a used car salesman came up to me and was like, I'm a used car salesman. All right.
But like, I mean, they do have a quota.
They got a quota. And it's like as if you're a used car salesman. Instead of saying, hey, how can I pull people into a conversation that they actually care to have?
Yeah.
Instead of, let me push an agenda on them. And I think if you start learning how to read the room, you start really listening and caring for people and their concerns, I think that's a better overall way to evangelize than to go in for specific. Again, this is just, I'm the type of person that will bring somebody around, do life with them, and let them come to the conclusions of the presuppositions in the Christian worldview and why they're true, instead of trying to close them on true or false statements. Like a lot of evangelism seems to be like true or false statements. And you're trying to lead persons down to see the things that they say are true or false, and the things they believe are false or true.
Yeah.
And I see that there being a physical engagement that Jesus had in breaking things down to people that they could understand, with the way he spoke in parables, with the way he met people's physical needs, with the way he engaged with their spiritual concerns. I think it's all the above. I don't think it's one or the other. And so I think there's a time and a place to do all of them, but I see a lot of value in breaking things down to where people are already engaged. So this family member of mine, oddly enough, couldn't go to church because they were practicing a Christian tradition. And I'm like, you're so close. Like, you're so close.
Yeah.
You know, you're right there, and it's so fascinating that people could be right there but be so far. You could be right there but removed from the actual point because you're doing something that's cathartic to you. There's a degree of transcendence with these traditions that you carry on, yet you miss the actual point of the traditions that point you to transcendence, which is Jesus. The point of the egg cracking illustration was Jesus. It's because Jesus was broken for our sins. It's because right? Like,
was that the Russian Orthodox version of like a youth group game that just became like a?
I mean, we could
that just became like an ancient. You know what I'm saying?
We could look at the origins of it. I'm not quite sure.
We have made the egg red and we smack it. No, there's one that you do I really like, which is like the question. The next question is, how do you bring it up? You know, the one you do I really like is like. You just make it super light. You go, when are you coming to church?
You
know?
Yeah.
You know, you just go like we're gonna get you to church. Yeah. You need to make it light. It's not like you don't like build relationship with them and then be like, hey man, do you got a minute? I want to sit down and talk. It's like, whoa, why so much? You know, you just make it light.
It's interesting how people are saying painted eggs are traditional in Romania. Yeah, I mean, it's a fairly, I'm assuming there's a lot of Orthodox-ish overlap, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So anyway, that would be my advice to you guys. Hey, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please be sure to comment below and subscribe and all that good stuff. And check out this other video that YouTube seems to be recommending just for you. Let me know if they nailed it. All right? I'll see you over there. Peace.